Hello everyone, hope all is well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing this super summery look. It's very fresh, very glowy, and I love the peach tones against the golden tones. These tones have been my favorite ones to go to recently. I have not been able to stop wearing the peaches and golds. I don't know what it is, I love it. So in this video, I'm going to be using a lot of my favorite products, some oldies and some new ones. So before we get into it, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me, and let's get to it. For my primer, I'm going to be using the Glossier Priming Moisturizer. And I'm using this because I'm going to be going in with the Nude Sticks Nudies Tinted Blur Stick again. And I found that that worked best with more of a moisturizing primer instead of other ones. For example, the Hydro Grip. I wore that combo the other day and it didn't wear as nicely as it did with this one. So that's why I'm going to be using this. Plus my skin felt like it needed an extra boost of hydration today. And then going in with the Nudies Tinted Blur Stick, I have the shade Medium 4. I definitely think that this would suit more oily skin types. I've heard from all the other YouTubers who have drier skin types that they don't really like this one. So if you have oily skin, you should definitely try this one out. And I'm just going to buff that in with this Royal Nickel complexion brush. I've been loving this brush lately. I always like to apply my foundations with a denser brush to begin with. For my concealer, I'm going to go in with an oldie but a goodie. It's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I have the shade Custard. And I'm also going to use this to spot conceal. This is a nude tube, so I'm just taking a little bit on my finger just to keep it hygienic. And I'm just going to pat that over my little breakouts here. And I'm going to let it kind of dry down just so that the coverage gets a little thicker. And I'm going to move on to the under eye. And I'm just going to blend out that concealer with the Beauty Blender. Seriously, still one of the best ones. I always try out new concealers, but I always turn back to this one. I'm like, why do I ever stop using this one? It's so good. And the shade range is amazing. I'm just going to take a little bit more right over here. I did not have the best sleep last night. I'm a night owl, so I stayed up super late last night. And then my dog woke me up at 7 because she was hungry, which I'm not mad at, but whatever. I love staying up late, but I also love getting up early to have like a really long day. I don't know, it's really weird. I'm gonna tap out the concealer that we put on my breakouts here just to really keep the pigmentation concentrated. To powder slightly, I'm gonna take the Milk Blur and Set powder, and I'm gonna take my Beauty Blender, pick up a little bit of that powder right on the tip of the sponge, and I'm going to lightly bake just under here, just so I don't get those little creases. I'm gonna let that chill, and I'm gonna take this brush from BH Cosmetics, and it's my Riri collection, the number 4 one, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and just dust it where I tend to get real oily. I don't want to powder heavily because I just want to look super glowy, but I just want this to last a bit longer. And this powder is really amazing because it cuts shine but not glow. It's great. And of course I'm going to run that all along my forehead because I have bangs and I get real greasy. And I don't really let this stay on for that long. I just let it chill for a little bit. Just gonna dust it off with this brush. And that's the base. It's super fresh, super lightweight. I've been loving this combo lately. For my bronzer, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Tan Tour. I'm going to be using the shade Fair. I've been loving this so much. In my opinion, it's very comparable to the Milk Makeup Baked Bronzer. I just swatched them side by side on my hand quickly because I was curious to see the differences. This is the Milk bronzer and this is the Huda one. The Milk one is a little bit more balmy, whereas the Huda is a little bit more matte. But on the skin, they're very, very similar. Milk will always have the #1 spot in my heart. I love this one still so much, but the good thing about the Huda ones, they have a better shade range. I believe Milk only has 2 shades, whereas Huda I think has 5. It's great. And I love how buildable it is. Like, you can really put it on sheer or really pack it on depending on how you like to bronze your skin up. I think it's really great. So I'm going to use the Smith 115 brush. I'm just going to start off with a little bit. And it blends out super easily. I just flung my beauty blender so far away from me. I always concentrate the most product in between my ear and the end of my brow, and then I will feather it towards the center because I feel like that gives the most flattering effect on my face shape. I just love cream bronzers so much. I prefer them way more than powders most times. I just feel like it settles into the skin so much nicer, looks far more natural, and never really looks patchy or anything. I've been really loving the Tan Tours. They're really great. I'm also going to apply a little bit on my chin and nose just for a sun-kissed look. This is the only Huda Beauty product I ever fell in love with, I think because her brand is a lot more dramatic and obvious makeup, whereas I like really natural, soft. Sometimes I like intense eyes and stuff, but the skin I really love to look really natural. So for my highlighter, I'm going to use another one of my old favorites. It's the Anastasia Liquid Glow in the shade Perla. It's such a great liquid highlighter. It never picks up your foundation or any other products. It never looks streaky. If you apply it sheer, it can look super glossy, but if you really want it to be blinding and intense, it can do that. I'm just going to apply it with my ring finger. And it does set down though, so you want to work in parts. It's not one that you want to like dab everywhere then blend out. It's also amazing because you can apply it with a sponge, a brush, or your finger, and it always looks really great. There's no glitter in it at all. It's just a beautiful sheen. Oh, it's just still one of my all-time favorites. It also has a really great staying power, so it's really good for summer. Once it dries down, it really stays. It's great. And next, for my blush, I've been really into the peachy tones, and BH Cosmetics just extended their Trip collection, and they came out with this Glowing in Grease palette. I love this so much because it's all peach tones. You get a really nice pale peach, as well as this more corally one, and then more of a tan darker peach, which is great. And the highlighting shades are super intense and beautiful. Here, I just wanted to put it side by side with the Blushing in Bali palette, the one that they came out with a few months ago. I far more prefer the Grease palette now, especially for summer. These shades are so summery. So I'm going to be dipping into the shades, these two shades here, Mykonos and Taros, with this BH Cosmetics No. 3 brush from the Festival collection, the one with the neon handles. The only thing that's a little bit annoying with these blushes is that they're so pigmented. I have never come across a more pigmented blush, so it's one that you really have to like tap down onto the back of your hand or a towel or something before you go in, because one little dusting off the pan of this, you could cover 10 people's cheeks, I swear. So anyways, going to be taking this brush and I'm going to lightly tap between the two just to mix them well, and then I'm going to dab it on the back of my hand and then go onto the cheeks. And I do love me an intense blush, but if you go directly onto the skin after you dip into the pan, you're gonna be in trouble. And I'm also going to do the nose and cheek. See, I just went straight in with the pan by accident, and now I am a peachy Rudolph. Just gonna take my beauty blender. If you do apply too much, just use whatever tool you used for your foundation. I wanted to share with you other peachy blushes that I've been having on rotation lately. I'll swatch them all quick. Here they all are swatched. This one is the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Beam. I've gone through 2 tubes of this so far. I absolutely love the Glossier Cloud Paints. They're just so beautiful. And the second one here is the Nude Sticks Nudies Bloom All Over Dewy Color in the shade Sweet Peach Peony. And then the last one here is the Cover FX Soft Peach Monochromatic Blush Duo. It's very soft, but it's so gorgeous, and I love layering both of these products on top of each other for a really like radiant blush look. They're just so gorgeous. Here I swatched the powder and then the shimmer one by itself. Ooh, so good. Those have been my favorite peach products. I'm going to quickly go off camera, do my brows, and then we'll move on to eyeshadow. I went ahead and did this eye because I had no idea what the heck I wanted to do. But the palette I'm going to be using is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. I pulled this palette out because I just really wanted a nice warm toned golden eye, and this palette is perfect, and I love this palette so much still. I use it all the time. It is very well loved. So the first shade I'm going to be dipping into is the shade Aria with a Smith 232, and I'm going to place this all over in the crease nearing the brow just for a super soft effect. And then I'm going to take an Anastasia A25 brush with the same shade, and I'm going to concentrate that more in the crease and on top of the crease just to add a little bit more definition. I wanted to do a little bit of something different. I add a little bit more definition right in here, and it kind of really opens up the eye interestingly. So I'm taking this Smith 247 brush and I'm dipping into the shade Teak. I'm going to look straight into the mirror, and I'm going to place my brush right where it opens, right here, just so that you can see the definition when my eyes are open. And once I have it, I'm just going to concentrate and blend. And I'm also going to take that shade on the outer portion and start blending it into the crease, as well as taking it down and start building up the outer corner. And I'm doing kind of an outer V shape. I'm going to take that shade about halfway across the lid. And I'm also going to start on the lower lash line. And I'm going to take that all the way across. I'm going to take that Anastasia A25 brush again with a little bit of Aria, just to blend that further and make sure everything is nicely diffused. I'm going to take a smaller brush. This is the Dose of Colors brush that comes in their 5 color palettes, with a little bit of that teak, just to build it up. I'm going to do like little circles. And I'm going to dip into the shade Log, the darkest brown, and I just want some definition, a little bit, just to make the eyes pop even more. I'm going to place this into the outer V, the tiniest little outer V ever, just to really deepen that up, and go over it with the Smith 247 and Teak to smoothen that out. And I'm going to define just the slightest amount in the inner portion. And for the shimmer, I'm going to be taking the shade Alchemist first with my finger on my ring finger, and I'm going to pack that on as close to the lashes as I can, just so that it's the most bright right there. And then I'm going to take that Smith 247 brush again that we were just using, kind of brush it off on a towel, and I'm going to lightly dust that brush into that shade, just so we get a nice smooth application of that. I don't want it to be super intense all the way up. I just want it to be the most blinding, I guess the most intense right nearing the lash line, more in the center. And I just want everything to be a little bit soft and blended into each other. And again, I'm just going to take my finger and build it up once again near the lashes. And for the inner corner and brow bone highlight, I'm going to take some of the ABH Perla that we used as our highlighter. And this is the Sigma E30 brush. And I'm going to quickly go apply some mascara and lashes, and I'll be right back. The mascara I'm going to be using is the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara. And here are the eyes all finished. The lashes I used are the Velour Mini Me lashes. Woo! And finally for the lips, I'm going to first go in with the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Oh Hi There. I've been loving this shade, and this formula is so cool. It goes on like a sheer liquid lipstick, but I don't understand how it doesn't get streaky. It's amazing. I'm just going to apply a little bit in the center. And then I'm going to take my finger and just really blur it out. It's a very pretty coral shade, but once you blend it out, it kind of turns a little peachy. And then I top it off with the Glossier gloss. The clear one, they just extended their collection, and now they have like a cherry one and a holographic one. I ordered them immediately when they launched. I'm so excited. Their gloss is my favorite gloss of all time. I'm just gonna go quickly fix my hair and I'll be right back. And here is the final full face look. I love how it turned out. It's super glowy and fresh and super summery. I love the peach tones with the golden eyes. I can't stop with the peachy blushes and the peachy lips. I think it's just so cute and summery. But that is all from me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below what you would like to see next. I will also make sure to link all the products I used in the description. And before I go, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!